Hello and welcome to our lesson today. My name is Miss Brooklyn Bogard, and we are going to be working on learning how to answer questions based on data that we have been given. So we are going to be looking at daily birth frequencies in the U.S. during the 2000s to 2014. So right here, this is our data plot. You can see the years going from 2000 to 2014, and this is all of our data plot. So we've got month, date of week, the day, date of birth, and then the births. So this is the data that we're going to be using to formulate our own understanding and answering some questions. So the first question is, describe the distribution of the number of births per day. What factors do you think impact the shape of the distribution? So to answer this question, I'm going to get a graph going. So all of those little dots that you see on the screen are the data plots. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to move these. So I'm going to move the day to the bottom so that we can make some plots out of these so we can better understand what the question is asking us. So I'm going to put days over here. I'm going to put births in the y-axis. And this is what we're looking at right now. And we're going to make this a little bit easier for ourselves and have it group into bins. And I am going to have it count it for us. Alrighty. So this is what we are looking at. This is the data plot. It's the same over here. This is just what the data is. And then this is what we have put into a graph to better understand. So that question again is, describe the distribution of number of births per day. So we have births per day, and as you can see, there isn't a lot of variation. Every day can be different, but this is no surprise to us because births is very high in the world and in the U.S. And the second part of the question is, what factors do you think impact the shape of this distribution? So we can tell Friday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday have a high amount of births, and then on Saturday and Sunday they have it in this region. So the answer to this question is that there isn't much variation. You can tell that every day is different. There isn't really a pattern going on here. Even though these three are pretty similar, it's not going to be exact like that every time. But when we look at this, we are not surprised at the data that we have been given. And this is because the rate of births in the U.S. is very, very high, just as it is the rate of deaths. So this isn't surprising because there are millions of people born every day, so there really isn't a pattern. So we're going to move away from this question, and we're going to go on to question number 2, and that is, are there any interesting patterns, trends, or anomalies in the frequency of births throughout a year? What might be possible reasons that explain these features? Alrighty, so I'm going to change up this little graph. I'm going to put it births per month instead of births per day, and we're going to see how that changes. Alrighty, so this is what we have been given. So obviously we have January, February, March, all the way up through December. And so that question again is asking us, what are possible reasons to explain features of patterns, trends, or anomalies within this frequency? And so there are many reasons for this. One of them, well, let's just go through the facts first. So it is quite obvious that December has the most amount of months because you can tell right here that it has the most amount of data plots, so it has the most amount of births. So you can see the other months have these little divots, and so this is why December has the most. And one thing that's really interesting about this graph is that they are all pretty much the same. They, they have just about, start around 6,000 and around 160,000. And they're all around in that same area of birth numbers throughout all of the months. So I think that's pretty interesting. And then we're going to talk about how you can see December has a lot of data points, and a pattern for this is holidays. So when Valentine's Day is in February, what's 9 months later, roughly December. And then we can also look at October. We have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October right here. October has a good amount of data plots as well. And so New Year's Eve is in January/December. What's 9 months later? About October. And so one pattern that is seen throughout this is that holidays and maybe anniversaries are very important to the data plot that is shown here. And that is the end of this lesson. That is a statistics lesson about the daily birth frequency in U.S. during the 2000 to 2014. We have just learned about how to take the data that we have been given, put it in our own hands, and make graphs out of them using data plots and whatever works best for your understanding. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.